Let the record show at 6 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order. Do you have a roll call, please?
Sorry. Linda Barnhart,
Present.
Vicana Norton, Eric Goff,
Here.
Dan Gant, Tim Lewis,
Present.
Derek Smith,
Present.
Nick Deal, Eddie Gokenhauer.
Here.
And
We do have a quorum. So the first item on the business is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Goff to approve the agenda. Second by Mr. Gokenhour. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved as submitted. The next item is opportunity for Sunshine Law, which is people who want to speak to the commission regarding anything that is on your mind. You're limited to 3 minutes, but you did need to sign in 15 minutes prior to the meeting starting. I assume we have no one that signed in. Okay. Next item on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes. There is a couple little
Move to
typos.
approve.
Well, there's a couple little typos, Mr. Goff. I'm sure you saw them.
Okay.
They're not serious, but they are item number 4, third line down. Add should be added, and the next one is on page 2. Action taken. Mr. Lewis recused instead of recessed himself. Okay. Like I said, they're not serious, but we do need to make them clear. So now, do you
Right.
want to approve them as corrected?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Goff to approve the minutes and second by Mr. Lewis. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Smith recused due to absence. All right, we'll begin our public hearings with Middle Creek Vistas.
Yes, this is a request for final plat approval. The project is Middle Creek Vista, Phase 1, Section 1. The file number is 2012-380. The developer is Warfield Homes Incorporated. The engineer is Morris and Ritchie Associates Incorporated. It is located in the Mill Creek Tax District, Map 1, Parcel 3.2. The project is located approximately 2,500 feet south of the intersection of Sailor's Way and Strobridge Road, secondary Route 34, with Middle Creek running through the middle of the site. The developer is proposing 10 single-family lots on approximately 16.6 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $495,450. The plat is to be released upon receipt of surety.
Thank you. Do we have anyone present to represent the project?
Yes, this is Shannon Delaney with Warfield Homes.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. It's your opportunity to make questions or comments regarding the project. If you have any, please come forward, state your name, your address, and any comments you might have regarding this project.
If there is nobody, I move to close public hearing.
Okay, let the record show that there's no comments, and I have a first by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Deal, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of the staff or of their representative?
I do. Showing 10 single-family lots with on approximately 16.6 acres. What is the balance of the land remaining?
So the entire property, 100 acres, this is, phase one is about 37 acres, which is going to entail 45 lots. We started this process at the onset of COVID, so we backed off because we didn't know what the future was going to hold. So we put in infrastructure for about 25 lots. The roads, the base asphalt's down, all the infrastructure's in for those 10 lots that are subject to this meeting. But we didn't want to expose ourselves too much, so we're a small company, so we backed off a little bit, not knowing what the future was going to be. Obviously, nobody predicted what the market was going to, what was going to happen in the last 12 months. So phase one is 45 lots. That's all been engineered and all that stuff. Phase 2 and 3 is to be determined at a future date once we see how the market's going to go. But the entire property is about 100 acres. But a lot of it is undevelopable because of the slopes and the stream and all that. So it's going to be a lot of common area with kind of scattered houses throughout. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Again, do you have additional questions or comments, Planning Commission members? If not, we're ready for a motion.
Make a motion we accept staff recommendation on the final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $495,450 plat to be released upon receipt of surety.
Have a motion by Mr. Gokenhour.
Second.
Second by Mr.
Second.
Lewis. Second by Mr. Lewis to approve the final plat contingent upon receipt of surety of $495,550. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next public hearing is...
Thank you.
Thank you. The next project for public hearing is Overlook at Riverside, Phase 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, this is a request for final plat approval. Again, Overlook at Riverside, Phase 4, 5, and 6, lots 24 through 52, 65 through 77, and 142 through 157. The file number is 2102-034, tied to 70-05. The developer is Rock Family Limited Partnership. The engineer is Frederick Siebert and Associates. It's located in the Falling Waters District, map 7, parcel 160.3. The property is located on the east side of Williamsport Pike, US 11, and south of I-81. The project proposes 58, that's 42 detached and 16 attached, single-family lots on approximately 10.7 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $980,800, and the plat is to be released upon receipt of surety.
Do we have anyone to represent the project? Overlook at
Ed
Riverside.
Schreiber with Schreiber and Associates.
Thank you, Mr. Schreiber. This is a public hearing. It's your opportunity to make your comments known. Please come forward, state your name, your address, and any comments you might have regarding the project.
My name is Stephen Thompson. I live at 159 Stager. I'm a little bit confused about some of the things, but is this particular approval the one that has still single-family homes in it and then some number of townhouses? Because I gather they're also pursuing a major plan change to change all the remaining lots to townhouses, which is very concerning to the current residents.
I haven't seen that yet in front of us. Mr. Seibert, can you hear Mr. Thompson?
Yeah, I think I gathered most of this question. This plan is not that specific one. That is a major plan change request to increase the number of townhouses, decrease a number of the single families and increase the number of townhomes in the next section. I believe that is going to be before you in the first July meeting, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, just want to be sure, because the existing plan is what most people in the development do seem to be happy with, and everybody I've talked to in the development who sees increasing the density, adding lots of townhouses with the dog park and whatnot, and the road access that we have, that it's going to be a burden upon the existing residents and crowd us somewhat, and possibly put a townhouse right behind my house where I was told by by Dan Ryan that it would be a single family home, so I bought into a concept. And it seems like now they want to make a very drastic change to that concept. So that's not coming, so I'll meet you back on July 6th to find out about it. But I just wanted to voice my opinion today.
Thank you very much. Just keep your ear to the ground regarding that next public hearing, okay?
Okay.
Good evening, it's Tracy Clark, C-L-A-R-K, 161 Charterhouse Street in Falling Waters. We just had a question, my husband and I, Jeff Clark, when we were sold also in that first phase, 1 and 2 and 3, our understanding was that they're now asking for the plots or phases 4, 5, and 6 to be approved right now. We are still trying to figure out what is happening with phase 1, 2, and 3, as they're asking for 4, 5, and 6 now, as we are still waiting for the amenities to be built, which was approved as part of phase 2, and that has not begun to be started yet. So all the current residents are trying to figure out what happened to the completion of phase 1, 2, and 3 if we're now approving 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. Mr. Schreiber, can you answer that question for Mrs. Clark?
Yeah, I can attempt to. Basically, this was our design of section 4. And I believe once the plan was submitted, it became a comment from staff to more or less make that 4, 5, and 6. It'd be better described as being portions of 4, 5, and 6. As I believe just a few of the lots are part of what was the original section 5, and a few of the other lots are part of the original section 6.
Okay, she's asking
So
about...
in order to answer your question, this is not actually all of 5 and 6. It's only a very small portions of it.
But her question is, she's in section 1 and 2?
We were part of that original section we signed a year ago, moved in a year ago, and we were told by Dan Ryan Builders that that was supposed to take effect after the phase 2 was completed, and none of that has started. Our concern, and you can tell that the forum is pretty full here, because there are a lot of overlooked people here tonight that are going to keep coming to this mic, because our concern is it has not been started, and the building has ceased in our community. I don't know if you're aware of that. The builder has pulled out at this point. The signs have been removed. The community has been removed from Dan Ryan's website. You cannot purchase a property there right now because Dan Ryan is no longer there. So we can't get our questions answered. So we're now posing it to the council and to the developer to find out what the heck is going on, because nothing is being built. And now they're starting to put all these public hearings out. So now that we are aware of it, we're coming to ask the council and the developer to please explain to us where we can get that information, who we should be directing our questions to, because nobody is responding to why the building has stopped and what's happening. Our community is basically just sitting there with now construction equipment sitting everywhere with no movement for the past month and a half to 2 months.
Mr. Schreiber, do you want to try to address that?
Well, I can't really address as to why Dan Ryan is no longer engaged in the subdivision. I was kind of unaware of that. I can inquire with the developer as to try to help answer some of those questions. I don't have the full answer for you, but I can get with the developer, and if I could get an email address, a telephone number, I'd be more than happy to describe, or actually have the developer describe to the speakers to help answer some of those questions.
Okay, again, my name is Tracy, T-R-A-C-Y. Last name is Clark, C-L-A-R-K. Our email address is C-L-A-R-K marksark@aol.com. And again, we just would like some clarifications because we will be here tonight. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to speak tonight. And we will be here at every public meeting until then, until somebody gets us some answers. And Mrs. Bernhardt, I'm not sure if you can direct us to where we might have get the records from when they came here and approved the phase 1 and 2 and 3. Because again, we were told it was phase 2. And now they're saying it's phase 4, 5, and 6 for the dog park and amenities. And that was not what we were sold as a community. So I just don't see continuing to keep approving phases if they're not completed with the phases and the promises that they've already provided for these homeowners.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do you want to talk to her about that?
Yes, if we could get contact information, I'm actually not one of the planning commission members, I'm one of the staff members. If we could get, Ms. Clark, your phone number as well, and the public hearing sign-in sheet, go ahead and just write all that information on there. And then one of us from the department can contact you and walk you through our records to show you all the different phases and what's approved and how many lots and where they are.
Great, and we can find out from when the public hearings were started.
It's all available on public website, but it takes some explaining to walk you through it and get you signed in.
No problem. I will put that all down here. Thank you so much.
Heather, can I get that contact information again from you tomorrow?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you.
I will tell you that generally at this project's public meetings, someone from the Rotz family is generally here. I don't see anybody here tonight. They would come and let us know if they're here. So I'm sure that we'll get you the answers to your questions. Just give us a couple of days.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate the
Sure.
council's time.
Yeah. And if anyone who wishes to speak is just echoing Ms. Clark's thoughts, I would appreciate if you could do it as quickly as possible.
Hi, good evening. Sorry. Hi, my name is Anisha, Aneisha. My last name is Ceesay, that's Ceesay. I live at 43 Lonsdale Boulevard. Just a couple of things. I came from Prince George's County, Maryland, where the developments were overpopulated because of decisions that were made for the best interest of smaller down single-family homes, which does impact schools in the county. I served as a council executive board member for Prince George's County Schools there, and we do see a lot of impacts when we made rash decisions on that. So I also wanted to bring that to your attention. I moved into community. My close-out date was March 19th, and I closed in the house in January. And I was also told the same about the amenities being completed within my phase, and even that was late, and I was literally probably the last townhouse that was done before they stopped building anything. As I had a friend that was also looking to move into the neighborhood, and they were told that they cannot come. So I just want to keep those things in consideration as people are making rash decisions, that it not only impacts the housing development, but it does impact children's education. I'm a single mother of 2 kids, and I don't want that impacting them. If we're losing amenities and also impacting how we are living. So just want to keep those things in mind. So thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to address to her the impact studies for the schools? School impact studies?
I can. Regarding school population and attendance, I've been working with the school board on their comprehensive educational facilities plan, and every subdivision project that comes through us and the proposed lot counts, whether they're townhomes or single-family homes, all gets tracked and forwarded to the school board. And we did work with them on that plan that they just formulated recently and finalized. So everything that comes through the planning department does get shared with the Berkeley County School Board.
Good evening. I'm Melissa Miller, and I live at 90 Stager Avenue. I was the first single-family home built there that actually lived there. My concern was the same as Tracy's. I don't have to reiterate that. But what I want to know is, from hearsay, from what I hear, because I talked to a lot of the builders in there, is that Dan Ryan no longer has permits. Is that true? Is it Acadia Homes or DH Horton that is going to come in and finish the rest of the development? Mr. Rotz, I guess, he is the developer. From what I hear, because I talked to a lot, that is, he had a outing, I guess, with Dan Ryan. So is it going to be the same builder that's going to come in there, or is it going to, all the homes going to look different that's in the development? Another is the amenities. I've been there for over a year, and I paid two HOAs. And again, section 2 was supposed to be, the dog park was supposed to be finished. So what's happening to the rest of who's paid their 2 years of HOA fees, because you pay a fee before you go in, and then you pay once you're there a year. What's happening to that, all that money that we're putting into our HOA, and we don't have what we have paid for or been told when we moved in?
Usually, and I can ask legal counsel here to back me up, usually HOA fees are paid in, they go into an escrow account, so they're not being put into any particular pocket. They're put in an escrow account, and then they are drawn on whenever the amenities or the upkeep needs to be done. Am I kind of correct on that?
That's good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
whatever you paid is not gone into anybody's pocket.
Right, I understand
yeah,
that.
It's into a fund, and then once it's completed, those things will be turned over to the homeowners, and that money will be spent to install any of the improvements that the HOA fees were put forth.
Okay.
Okay?
Do we know if Dan Ryan still has contracts on the rest of the properties?
We don't know that, do we?
When we reach out to Rob Rotz, between Ed Schreiber, his engineer, and myself, we can reach out to them and find out.
Can I also let my information?
Certainly.
Thank you.
And when we go through these plat approvals, we don't necessarily know who the purchaser is. We just know that they're asking for these lots to be available to be sold. We don't know who the intended builder is at the time of plat approval.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adrienne Wren. I live at 40 Steger Avenue. And I can say the next meeting I have a lot of concerns about. I really did my due diligence. But my main concern here today is I just want to get clarification. Are the amenities coming, or are they going to be pooled?
Mr. Seibert, do you want to address that?
To the best of my knowledge, there has not been any plan change or movement to take away any of the amenities, to the best of my knowledge.
Because I know for a lot of us, so this is selling point. Me, so much I have little kids who don't have big lots. I need somewhere where they can go and not get hit by cars, since there's a lot of speeding in the area. So that was a selling point. I know a lot of others have dogs, so it's a nice place to go there, as the lots are rather small, and my lot is on a slope like this. Goes straight into the woods, so it's really important that we do have the amenities. I just want to express my concern on that.
Thank you so much. Anyone else wish to speak regarding overlook at Riverside? Let the record show that there's no additional comments.
So I move to close public hearing.
Motion by Mr. Goff to close public hearing. Second by Mr. Lewis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Seibert or of the staff?
I don't really have any questions, but it appears as if there's a communication breakdown between the developer and the community. And I would strongly encourage the Ross Family Development Corporation to reach out to these folks to have a dialogue, at least to explain what's going on.
And I will see that the Rod's Family Partnership does get notified of this. I'll explain, I'll be making a phone call right after the hearing this evening and explain it to Rob.
Thank you.
Additional questions, Planning Commission members?
Mr. Schreiber, what phase was the amenities supposed to be in for 1, 2, and 3? Was it in 1, 2, and 3, or was it part of one of the later sections?
It was my belief that it was part of some, well, there's various other amenities, but the main section of amenities, I believe, had to do with actually the plan that's coming up, the major plan change, which it has a lot of the amenities in it, from what I can recall.
So in this section here, these sections here, 4, 5, and 6.
I'm just not sure of the question.
Are they in this what we have before us tonight, sections 4, 5, and 6, or are they in that part?
No, they are not.
They are not.
They are not.
Do you know what section they're in?
I believe it is what is going to be the next hearing, which would be the major plan change, such as the dog park and things of that nature.
So we won't see those amenities added to the subdivision until the next sections are presented?
Correct.
Okay, well, this lady, Ms. Clark, said that they were promised to her in sections 1, 2, and 3. Wait a minute, we don't need speaking out. I'm asking for Mr. Shriver to give me an answer.
I'll have to find out for sure from Mr. Rotz, but I don't know who made those claims. But I can certainly explain to Mr. Rotz the concerns, and then we can address them with each and every one of these folks that have spoken this evening.
Okay. Planning Commission members, do you have additional questions?
Mr. Schreiber, did you say that major plan change was going to be before the commission July 6th?
Yes, that's correct.
That won't be a public hearing, right?
Yes.
It will be? Okay. All right.
And a more detailed drawing. So we can make sure that we include in the packet as much information that shows amenities and things of concern.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Would it be appropriate to table this until July 6th?
This final plat is for the lots illustrated on the drawing, and those lots meet all of the requirements prior to the plan change. So I don't know if we could legally table something that meets requirements.
It sounds like what's being discussed as far as the major plan change is a totally separate piece than this.
Right.
This meets all the requirements, which planning department and the engineering department say it does.
You have to talk over the airplane here.
You should not table something that is really right.
And the lots being considered tonight were reviewed against the preliminary plan that was already approved
Section
and matches the things that they
1, 2,
were,
3, 4, 5,
that were
6, and then
committed to
on.
them, yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Garner, can I just ask that they possibly, when they bring that major plan change, could they please represent phase 1, 2, and 3, which will show you that phase 2 is when the amended parts was. Can they please present all the phases back on that major plan change that shows them with the amenities, changing those surrounding townhomes that are now going to be facing the amenities from single family to townhomes? This is where our concern is. Because that dog park amenities playground area, the only free space in the entire community, is what they're asking to change now. And they're gonna, instead of single family homes facing that, which we were only in a few dozen homes, and now they're talking about all townhomes facing that little tiny park, which is gonna really increase, like you said, traffic flow, cars in and out, and the actual amount of people living there. But they put all the faces back on the table for you to
Okay,
see.
we closed the public hearing. Your questions can be discussed with the staff, and she has your contact information. So we need to take action on this section right here.
Ready for a motion?
Yes.
Make a motion that we accept a staff recommendation for final plat approval contingent upon surety, receipt of surety in the amount of $980,800. Plat to be released upon receipt of surety.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Gokenhour, second by Mr. Lewis, to accept staff recommendation, and that is to approve the final plat contingent upon amounts of $980,800 for phase 4, 5, and 6. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Stay on the staff to get your answers, okay? The next public hearing is Red Hill.
Yes, this is a request for major plan change approval. The project is Red Hill. The file number is 2009-237, tied to 33-05. The developer is P. Kogar Investments. The engineer is Kim Petrucci. The project is located, the project is located in the Hedgesville Tax District. It's part of map 28, parcel 46 and 47, and part of map 27, parcel 8. The project is located on West Virginia County Route 4, Ridge Road. The purpose of this major plan change is to bring the site into compliance with the 2016 Stormwater Ordinance. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. The county engineer, Doug Smith, issued a letter of completion on May 25th, 2021, stating that the major plan change meets the requirements for approval. The major plan change meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance 2009. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the major plan change.
Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Yes, the developer and the engineer.
Okay. Let the record show Ms. Petrucci and Mr. Koger is present to represent the project. Are present, sorry. Do you have questions or comments regarding this from the public? Please come forward, state your name and address, and any questions you might have.
Seeing none, make a motion that the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Let the record show that there is no public comments. Have a motion by Mr. Gokenhour, second by Mr. Smith, to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do we lose them?
Eric is unmuted, and I've asked Nick to unmute. He might be sitting at the airport authority, and that might have been the airplane we were hearing.
Oh,
There you
no, actually it wasn't, but I just unmuted though.
Okay. So let me just take the vote again. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of the staff or of the representatives present tonight?
If there are no questions, I make a recommendation, or make a motion to accept staff recommendations for approval of the major plan change.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Gokenhour, to accept staff recommendation, and that is to accept the major plan change for Red Hill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. The next project for public hearing is Reiner.
Yes, this is a request for waiver. The project is Reiner. The file number is 2105-195, tied to 2103-111. The developer is Robert Reiner Jr. The surveyor is Roberts Land Surveying. It is located in the Hedgesville District, map 34, parcel 9. This project is located on the west side of Welltown School Road, West Virginia Route 9/11, 4,000 feet south of intersection with Hedgesville Road, West Virginia Route 9. The developer is proposing the boundary line adjustment of 2 existing parcels, a total of 142.49 acres, which would create a 1,193 panhandle lot. 1,193 foot panhandle lot. And the developer is requesting a waiver to section 504D of the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance 2009, which requires a maximum length of 400 feet for panhandle lots. The engineering staff has no objection to this waiver request. Planning staff concurs with engineering staff.
Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Oh, good evening, Mike Collins, President of the project.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. If you have questions or comments, please come forward, state your name, address, and any questions you might have regarding this project.
Hello, Tabitha Physioc, TABITHAPHYSIOC. I live at 35 Cobblestone Court, Martinsburg. Just inquiring if the property is being subdivided, is it subdivisions that's being looked at going into this, because I am a homeowner in Harlan Run. So we weren't really sure, we're on that cul-de-sac side, what was the plan for that property.
Okay. Mr. Roberts, you want to address that?
This application is not creating any subdivisions, and I really can't speak to any future development of property. This is to help settle the estate, the Reiner estate, without property amongst the family members.
Okay. Do you hear that? Okay. Any additional comments?
My name's Jeff Bright. I live at 56 Periwinkle Place in Harlan subdivision. Reiner's driveway goes right past our house. Couldn't find better people. That's their only access to their property. And if they didn't have that, I don't know what they'd do. So I'd just like to speak on their behalf.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Clarice Otley. I live at 2381 Welltown School Road, and I live on the corner of the property that is being considered. And so my question is, in addition to that which has been said, is there any way that the planning of that property will affect my home? I'm part of the Holland Run development, but I'm on the main road. So if there's anything that's going on that will affect my property, I'd like to know about it.
Okay, as Mr. Roberts explained, this waiver is only for the length of the entrance into the Reiner property. It is not for development. Is that, yeah.
Okay.
This is just the entrance in. We used to have the plats up on the wall, but it just the waiver is just for the driveway in. The regulations call for 400 foot, but the engineer has no objection to it being 1,000 feet. So it's just for the driveway in.
Okay. I didn't hear him when he was talking, but I am the neighbor to the Reiners, and I concur that they're fine for the people. And if it affects them getting in and out of their property, then I would like to speak to that. And if it does, then I think that something should be done contrary to what the plan is.
Well, all we have before us this evening is the right-of-way. Mm-hmm. Additional comments from the public, please?
Public hearing is closed.
Let the record show that there's
Second.
no additional comments. I have a motion by Mr. Gokenhour, second by Mr. Goff, to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Roberts or the staff?
If there are no questions, I make a motion, we accept the waiver for section 504.d of the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance and grant the exception for the 1,193 Pan acre.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Gokenhour to accept staff recommendation, and that is to grant a waiver to section 504.d, and that is the length from 400 feet to 1,193 feet. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Mhm. Yeah. Sure. Have to wait for a quorum to come back.
We still have Eric and Nick both.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, the next item is, for our public hearing, is Martinsburg Spec Building 1.
Yes, this is a request for sketch plan advancement. The project is Martinsburg Spec Building 1. The file number is 2104-146. The developer is Red Rock LLC. The engineer is Bowler Engineering. It's located in the Falling Waters District, map 14, parcel 9. This project is located south of the intersection of Winchester Avenue, US Route 11, and Hammonds Mill Road, West Virginia Route 901. This project proposes construction, and I apologize, there is a typo, and we will correct it in the staff report. This project proposes construction of approximately an 829,947 square foot industrial building situated on 62.33 acres to be served by public water and sewer. No waivers have been requested. On May 25th, 2021, the county engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is John Wright Bowler. I'm the engineer of record, and I also have Ed Novak, the contract person very well.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Questions or comments? Let the record show that there is no one here.
Now move to close public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Lewis to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Wright or of the staff?
If there are no questions, make a motion that we accept staff recommendations for advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Motion by Mr. Lewis to accept
Second.
staff recommendation, second by Mr. Goff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Can I ask you what the use of the project is? Just curious.
Yeah, a tenant hasn't been determined yet, but for warehousing.
Warehousing? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for all your help.
Yep. Next item on the agenda, that concludes our public hearings. The next item on the agenda is Berkeley Ridge, Section 2. Okay?
Yes, this is a request. This is a request for preliminary plan approval. The project is Berkeley Ridge, Section 2. The file number is 2102-046, tied to 2009-250. The developer is D.R. Horton Incorporated. The engineer is Fox and Associates. It is located in the Falling Waters District, map 14, parcel 26.3. The site is located on the east side of the existing Berkeley Ridge subdivision, north of Spring Mills Middle School. The project proposes 148 townhome lots on approximately 20.5 acres to be served by public water and sewer. On November 2nd, 2020, the developer was granted a waiver to the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance 2009, Article 8, Section 801, Table 8-1A8, requiring 3 parking spaces per dwelling unit, with a minimum of 1 parking space per dwelling unit being off-site. On June 3rd, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. The preliminary plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance 2009. Therefore, staff recommends advancement of the preliminary plan to the final plat stage.
Thank you. Do we have a representative?
Good evening, Steve Sianovich with Fox and Associates, representing the applicant.
Okay, thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Sianovich or of the staff?
There are no questions. I make a motion. We accept staff recommendations, advancement of the preliminary plan to the final plan stage.
Second.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Lewis, second by Mr. Gokenhour to accept staff recommendation, and that is to approve the preliminary plan. Move it on to the final plat stage. Sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you, Planning Commission.
Next item on the agenda is request for preliminary plan, final plat approval, P&G.
Yes, it is a request for preliminary final plat approval, P&G subdivision. The file number is 2104-157. The developer is Berkeley County Development Authority. The surveyor is U.S. Surveyors. It is located in the Arden District, map 15, parcel 2. This project is located 1.2 miles north on Route 24 and Horner Sawmill Road, from intersection with Route 51 at McGuire Lane. The project proposes the creation of one 100-acre parcel with a 22.9-acre residue parcel to be served by public water and sewer. The county engineer, Dirk Stansberry, issued approval on November 24, 2020, stating a review of the above-mentioned project had been completed and was found to be in compliance with the subdivision ordinance. The project is found to be complete in compliance with the 2009 Berkeley County subdivision regulation, and therefore staff recommends approval of the preliminary final plat.
Thank you. Who do we have to represent the project?
Good evening, Madam President. Kenneth Barton of Steptoe and Johnson, counsel to the developer, the Berkeley County Development Authority. With me is Ms. Sandy Hamilton, the Executive Director of the Berkeley County Development Authority.
Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Barton or the staff? Or perhaps Ms. Hamilton?
Being water and sewer stops at the school, I think the middle school was the last one back. Is your all's intention on providing water and sewer back to the property?
This is, the purpose of this is simply an opportunity for our friends at P&G to reserve this for future development. We don't know exactly what they're planning on doing. By way of background, Procter & Gamble enjoys a right of first refusal on all property adjacent to their facility at Tabor Station. It's a matter of public record. Berkeley County Development Authority made an offer for that parcel, and P&G exercised its right of first refusal, and that's what this is. So there is no proposal for development of that property right now. I'm not speaking for P&G, what they're thinking or anything else. This is just to be able to allow them to purchase this property, 100 acres, with a 22-acre reserve for, which will remain Berkeley County Development Authority, which is the south side of Business Park Drive.
So this butts up almost then?
Yeah, it's adjacent to the P&G facility. The only thing that's that's between the facility and this parcel is the railroad.
Additional questions?
Motion?
Yep.
Accepts, see staff recommendation, of the Berkeley County, approval of the Berkeley County regulation. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the preliminary / final plat agreement.
Motion by Mr. Gokenhour, second by Mr. Lewis, to accept the staff recommendation, and that is to approve the preliminary final plat for P&G subdivision. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to come back anytime.
With this type of reception, I might come back.
That's right.
Make more fun tonight.
Yeah. That's why we put you on the end of the agenda, so you could see how much fun it was. Last time it wasn't so much fun, was it?
I've had better days.
Yeah. Haven't we all?
You're a closer tonight.
Okay, do we have anything from council or staff you want to bring up?
I just want to remind everyone that this is our last Zoom meeting for our planning commission meetings, and beginning in July, we will go back to having everyone here in person and being able to see each other.
You Zoomers hear that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We got empty seats here. We want your warm bodies in them. Okay, if there's nothing further,
I move to adjourn.
there we go. Motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Smith. to adjourn? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.